So guys, imagine this. You walk into your bathroom in the morning, splash water on your face, and when you look up at the mirror, your reflection is completely gone. It's not blurry, not faded, just totally vanished, like you don't even exist. That's exactly what happens to Michael. A normal teenage boy living in Italy who is shy, quiet, and constantly bullied at school. One day in class, he is sitting behind a girl named Stella, the girl he secretly likes, when suddenly a police inspector walks into the classroom. The surprising thing is that the police inspector is actually Michael's adoptive mother. She is there because one of their classmates has mysteriously gone missing and everyone thinks the boy simply ran away from home. But the moment the missing student is mentioned, Michael suddenly starts bleeding from his nose for no reason. Feeling embarrassed and confused, he rushes to the bathroom where the bullies once again start teasing him, showing how miserable his school life really is. That evening, there is a costume party, and Michael has been saving money to buy something cool to wear. Fortunately, he doesn't have enough money, so he ends up buying a cheap Chinese superhero costume, even though he doesn't really like it. At home, his mother encourages him to go to the party anyway, telling him he looks good. At the party, things actually go well at first. He gets to talk with Stella, and for a moment he feels confident and happy. But then the bullies show up again and start humiliating him in front of everyone. Feeling completely broken, he runs to the bathroom and whispers that he wishes he could just disappear. Suddenly the lights go out, and in the chaos, he escapes through a window and runs home. The next morning, his dog's barking wakes him up. He walks into the bathroom to brush his teeth and suddenly freezes when he looks into the mirror because his clothes are visible but his body is completely gone. At first, he thinks he is dreaming, but when he slowly removes his clothes, he realizes he is completely invisible. His mother walks in, but cannot see him either, which confirms that he really has gained the power to disappear. He quickly writes a note saying he is going to school and answers his mother's phone call, pretending everything is normal. He covers himself with layers of clothes and goes to school, but once he gets there, he starts thinking about using his power for revenge. He becomes invisible again, and during class, he steals a bully-esque paintball gun and shoots it at the teacher, making it look like the bully did it, which gets the bully suspended. But Michael starts crossing moral boundaries, sneaks into the girls' changing room, and uses his invisibility to spy on them. However, one girl accidentally throws a towel which lands on him and reveals the shape of his invisible body. At that moment, his powers begin fading, and he becomes visible again, completely naked, causing the girls to scream and run away in panic. The next day, another student goes missing, and Michael notices that his own hands are slowly starting to disappear again. Meanwhile, at home, his little sister Candela discovers his secret. At first, she is scared, but Michael explains that the Chinese superhero costume somehow gave him the power to disappear. Later that night, while still invisible, Michael overhears his mother talking on the phone and learns something shocking. He is adopted. Years ago, someone had left him outside their house as a baby, and Michael had never known the truth. Feeling heartbroken, he goes outside and sits alone on a swing where Stella unexpectedly finds him. She senses that someone is there but cannot see him. Instead of running away, she sits beside him and talks to him like a friend. Michael draws a smiley face on the ground, and they spend time together before she leaves. Later that night, he visits her home secretly, and they share a kiss. But his powers start fading again, and he runs away before she can see his face. Meanwhile, Stella is later attacked in the gym by a masked man and gets kidnapped. When Michael sees this, he tries to stop the kidnapper but fails, although his dog manages to bite the attacker's hand. Police soon realize that the missing children were not runaways, but were actually kidnapped. Stella wakes up in a secret laboratory with wires attached to her head, and shockingly, Michael's teacher is also involved in the experiments being conducted on the children. The next day, Michael goes to the sea alone, where he meets the blind man he had seen before. The man introduces himself as Andre and claims to be Michael's real father. He explains that years ago, a nuclear radiation leak in a Russian village killed many people, but some survivors developed special powers. The military discovered this and started experimenting on them like they were weapons. Andre and Michael's biological mother were among those survivors. When Michael was born, he became the first child born with these special powers. To protect him, his parents escaped from the military camp, but his mother was killed during the escape. Andre survived and used his mind-reading ability to find a kind woman, Michael's adoptive mother, and left baby Michael outside her home to give him a safe life. However, now the military has discovered that the special child is living in that area. Later, Michael realizes that his teacher is actually one of the kidnappers when he notices the dog bite mark on his hand. He escapes and teams up with Ivan, one of the bullies, to save their friends. At the secret facility, Stella manages to send a signal to Michael by using a searchlight to draw a smiley face, just like the one Michael drew on the ground during their first meeting. Michael understands the message and rushes to save her, fights the guards, frees the kidnapped children, and finally reveals himself. But it turns out to be a trap set by an old man who can control people's minds. This man had been controlling Stella, the teacher, and others. Michael and Stella are captured and taken onto a submarine. Meanwhile, Andre and Michael's adoptive mother arrive at the facility and help rescue the other children before the building self-destructs. On the submarine, Michael discovers that he not only has invisibility but also telekinesis, meaning he can move objects using his mind. He uses this power to destroy equipment, defeat the enemies, and save Stella while forcing the submarine back to shore. Everyone is safe, and Michael proudly shows his powers by disappearing and reappearing in front of everyone. However, Andre warns him that he cannot show his powers publicly because it will make him a target. To protect his identity, Andre decides to erase everyone's memory of the events. Michael understands and shares one last kiss with Stella before Andre uses his powers to wipe their memories. Everything returns to normal, and to the world, it is like nothing ever happened. But deep inside, Michael knows that he is not just an ordinary boy, he is something much more powerful. And this is only the beginning of his story.